Oh, hello. Thank you very much for joining me today. This is video for asking for help. The first document you can see on the screen here is an email from the offshore island police, the special unit who understands business and crime very well, apparently. I am awaiting a document from basically our first lawyer that may provide her with the detail that she needs to assess whether or not there is a criminal offence that should be investigated by the police or not. So remember, the video before was about bribery and racketeering. She's going to my lawyer that I've sacked to see if there was a criminal offence, and you know, it's just mad. I mean, the police don't need a lawyer to tell her. They've got to be able to figure that out on their own. If not, they shouldn't be really wearing a uniform, in my opinion. Over on the next page here, you can see again, it's the offshore island police emailing me. He says, if you have an evidence of any crime, then it should be reported to the police force area where it was committed. The constabulary cannot investigate matters outside its jurisdiction. You have not supplied any evidence to date that there has been a crime committed. If you have evidence of a crime that has occurred in their jurisdiction, then please supply that evidence. Well, I have been trying to supply that evidence to you since around January 2020. Or to be honest, about March 2020. So we're basically 2 years into it now. Over on the next page here, you can see this is a letter or email to myself from the offshore island, saying, this morning again I met with the detective sergeant in charge of the investigation into matters you have raised with us. After a lengthy discussion, it was concluded there is no evidence to suggest that there has been any offences committed in the other offshore island, and as such, at this time there is no further viable lines of inquiry, and the investigation will be concluded. Please be rest assured that we have conducted a thorough review of the material that you have provided, and we have also obtained information from third-party companies as well as the Metropolitan Police and the other offshore island police, and all inquiries undertaken have not identified any offence. The unsigned trust deed, the $74 million transfer. Are you joking? Do you know what I mean? I understand that this result will not be one that you and your family will have hoped, but I hope you can take some reassurance from the investigation we have undertaken. I wish you and your family well, and I would urge you to seek any support you need from the relevant support services in Spain, as I can see what a challenging time you and your family are facing with the upset and death of your grandfather has caused. Now listen, my granddad was murdered many years ago. I'm very upset about it, obviously, but I'm approaching you to do with my grandfather's missing assets in that Pacific offshore island with his unsigned trust deed. I'm an heir to an absolute millions and millions of pounds, and so are my family, and this offshore island is telling me to go and get a charity in Spain. So remember that if you're ever going to invest in these islands. Now, this email is from the offshore island regulator in one of the offshore islands. Again, just saying, please keep your. Please note that emails about complaints are sent to the general inbox or to other staff will not be handled by those staff, but will be passed to me or to the deputy complaints officer in my absence. So what they're trying to do is encourage me to only email them directly because of the corruption that I know they're up to, and I don't want them to keep investigating their own investigations. I make sure other people are CC'd in to make sure I'm getting the word out there, and hopefully I'll get an adult in the room and someone will be able to make a sensible decision on matters. So over on the next page here, again, please just read it. I can't read it all to you. This is what I've been going through, so I'm outlining. This is very strange. The case has been opened and shut as many times as I can remember. I was told on Friday that the new CEO was not interested, and Mr. So-and-so had shut it down again, and he was very rude to me on the phone. After all, he's covering up his own error or fraud he committed in his email. So, like again, it's reiterating that they're investigating their own conclusions of previous allegations made by myself. So over on the next page here, this is me having communication with the National Crime Agency. I've called them quite a few times. Again, I must reiterate, no one's offered me any help. In fact, only the opposite. All of the agencies to date, including all the offshore island police and the Metropolitan Police, have all threatened to arrest me for over 2 years. I remember the Metropolitan Police did not even have my granddad's murder listed, and they used to threaten me with arrest under the Telecommunications Act. What a joke. So on the next page here, this is now communications with the Serious Fraud Office, and I'll read it to you. It's quite interesting. It says, unfortunately, this matter does not appear to be a matter that the Serious Fraud Office can investigate. The Serious Fraud Office is a specialist prosecuting authority that investigates top-level or serious or complex fraud, bribery and corruption affecting the UK. Due to this, we only take on a small number of large economic crime cases. You should consider whether to make a report to Action Fraud, which is the UK's National Fraud Reporting Centre. So let's all remember the Serious Fraud Office have also, I think at the moment, blocked my calls. They'll probably unblock it like the other offshore island did. But anyway, yeah, so I've gone to them. Please bear in mind the Serious Fraud Office, there's 3 or 4 individuals that they've actually brought cases against, and they're in my documents, and I've emailed them and showed them that. Please bear in mind the Company B is actually dissolved by the offshore island's own convicted fraudster and the Commissioner of Oaths. Is very strange. He was accused of child abuse. He then travelled to Scotland and stabbed himself in the stomach and jumped off a cliff. So I wonder what happened to that chap. Over on the next page here, you can just see again, it's more communication with the National Crime Agency, me telling them it's linked to the Carroll Foundation Trust, and really, asking for their help. I mean, believe me, in the beginning, I was very polite, but at the moment, I'm pretty upset with all agencies to date. Again, just some more communication with the Serious Fraud Office, showing different times throughout the year that I've contacted them. Still useless. Over to the next page here, then it is... this lady, for example, is in charge of bribery and corruption in this specific offshore island. And I've explained the case to her via email. She seemed to sort of understand it. Then she come back with this response, which is just, a nightmare. She's just saying, go back to the police. But the police are part of the problem. So if they don't understand bribery and corruption and racketeering, please do not have your title on the website that you're in charge of bribery and corruption. So what do you do? When you approach the Serious Fraud Office, they say the case is too small, or the National Crime Agency basically have that same view as well, but it links to the world's biggest criminal syndicate and bank identity case known to date, which is the Carroll Foundation Trust. So anyway, soon I'll be able to sort of maybe unmask some of the individuals behind all of this, considering what's going on with Putin and the use of secret offshore islands. Who knows, maybe he used the Emerald Trust, or still did. Thanks for listening today. Bye bye.